get through, he turned around, he says, "Sailor," he says, "I understand what you're talking about, but says you better stay on your feet because anybody else calls you, you might not go this easy." So I got out of that one pretty easy.
Very lucky. Good for you. I'm going to take a pause there. I want to check the time.
No.
See what time we got?
Oh, it was 10 after 3 I got.
Okay. Not too tired?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right. And we,
No, I like to talk about things.
yeah,
But I forgot about it, but you're bringing it, go ahead.
yeah, it's okay. I do too. So it's very interesting to me. We'll continue, and I want to talk about the only thing you never had any attacks. You never.
Oh, yes.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get into that.
Uh-huh.
Hang on. And so, you had a battle station. Everybody had a battle station.
That's right, they did.
What was your role? What was your battle station? Do you
A battle
remember?
station, let's see, I had 2 of them. First one was I loaded the guns for we had some machine gunners aboard our ship, and I did load their guns. And that was one of my first ones, and I was up topside. Although my job really was down below. When I did my job, a regular job on the ship, but when we were attacked, I was up, thank goodness, because I wanted to see what the hell was going on. So I liked the job.
Yeah.
And then another one, was interesting. My ship, the Wichita, was built, I think in 39. Yeah, I think it was commissioned in 1939. And as you can see, it's got 9 8-inch guns, 3 or 6 in front, and well, you can't see the 3 in the back in the fantail. But it was built for ship-to-ship fighting. They didn't think about airplanes, back then. And of course, World War II started, and pretty soon everybody realized it was going to be an air war in the Pacific with Japan. And so they put like a ship like that, they put a lot of these aircraft guns
AAA.
on the main.
The AAA, the anti-aircraft guns, right?
And you can imagine when that war, we were shooting, war was going on, and of course, that's in the middle of that ocean. If that ocean is not perfect water, hell, there's a lot of waves to it. So it was rocking, and the guy would catch the shell after the shell was shot. The guy would catch the
Casing?
what do you call it?
Casing?
Casing of the shell, and he was having a hell of a time catching it while keeping his balance to do it.
Yeah.
And I was pretty close to him because my job at that time, I had to handle some bullets up to the guy above, up to the above where I was, on the level above. And so I got to see that, but I sure didn't like that guy's job. Had to catch that damn shell casing. Anyway, that's what we did. But we had one ship-to-ship fight. But there were 3 of us and 1 of him. With 3 cruisers like I got. And it was at midnight. Anyway, the word came over to all hands on deck. Get below decks, of course, we're going to shoot the big guns. Well, I forget how they said it. And I said to one of the guys with me. I said, hell, let's don't go below. Let's see what's going on. And it was a dark night. It was really a black night. And it was interesting because you could see the shells flying over.
Right.
And of course, that was the idea. If that shell hit up there, it's not a good sort of place to be on top of this, outside the open deck. So, but we stayed, just he and I. And there was 3 of us against the Jap. And I think it was another probably ship about what we had. And we would each throw, about 6. We got 9 8-inch guns. We'd throw them over the bullets, and you could see it flying over there, and that was interesting. That's what I wanted to see. And the Jap was flying, shooting back. Fortunately, it didn't hit our ship. But what I'm trying to say is, there was 3 of us shooting the one guy, and you could see the shell tracing of the other 2 American ships. You could watch them. And we weren't doing too well, none of us, because that ship was still throwing back at us. Except one time, we had shot about twice or 3 times. And the 3rd time we shot, we hit something because there was a big flare. And that was the end of the shooting. So we always said, you did the job, the other 2 didn't. It was out.
So it blew up and then it never sank?
Never shot anymore after that.
But did it sink?
I beg your pardon.
Did
I don't know. There's a midnight,
Right.
I don't know what happened.
Right.
I assume maybe it did because it was a hell of a big flare-up. Another time that happened was interesting on that. Our job was to take in tow, and it was during one of those, I forget what you call it, bunch of Jap planes and we're flying. We had to take in tow a ship. I don't know whether it was Australian. Wasn't our ship, but it was another country's ship.
An Allied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to take it in tow because it was dead in the water. And of course, if we didn't do something to it, the Jap subs would knock it out. So that was interesting. What we did, and it was black night. It was really a dark night. And I didn't have anything else to do, but I was up there, and I was pretty close to the guy, the officer that was handling the firing. And he would talk about, he says we're going to shoot, and that we would have to shoot this, how the hell did they do that? They shot, you had to get your tow line in, but you would shoot, and you had to shoot it over to the.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What?
Sure, I follow you. Yeah.
And
to get your tow rope.
Of course,
in. Yeah.
you're out here in the middle of the ocean, and you're not flying on level land. They're moving.
Right.
There's a lot of moving going on. And one time, and it was just us. Just our ship was going to take this. I think it was Australian ship, and in tow. And I was standing here right by the officer that was giving the order, and it was interesting to hear him talk, And he said, "Well, we're going to, I don't know how they said we're going to shoot the lead line over to you." And so finally they they got it over there properly, and they, how did that happen? He got it over there, and I guess they hooked onto their bit. I forget what they call those things on the ship. And about the time they got that hooked on, and here we had a long lead over. Our ship made a turn in the water, and because of the waves, heavy wave action. And damned if it didn't make a kind of the cable, it just, well, it was like a knife. And these guys, there were 3 or 4 sailors there trying to hook it together to our ship, and it knocked 2 or 3 of them down. I think one of them lost a leg over that. But we got that in tow, and it was interesting. We towed that for about 2 days. I forget where we left it. And we got it into land, and we were hoping that we would get in the land too, wherever it was, island or whatever, because we were pretty sure that those guys aboard that ship would buy us a lot of drinks. But we no sooner he got him, made sure he got to the beach all right. We took off and went back with our rest of the crew. We traveled in a big crew of ships, but we didn't get any help.
So in the 3 years, do you remember some of the places that you went to?
Uh-huh.
What, I mean,
Well,
countries?
the only place we would go to islands from
Right.
time to time,
right?
and hell, I didn't know, and nobody else did either, I don't think, exactly the name of the island.
Sure.
And, yeah, we did a lot of that. Yeah.
How about the end of the war? You said that you went into Japan, and
That was interesting.
yeah,
Uh-huh. We went to this, what was that called again?
Nagasaki.
Nagasaki, where the second bomb was dropped. First of all, when we got that ship in there and everything settled down, we go over, whoever wanted to go over, and they were going to put us in the back of a truck and take us all through where that bomb was dropped. Oh yes, I wanted to see that, and so it was interesting. What was interesting to me about that was that there was no like the bomb. There was a hell of a hole in the ground. Nothing like that. What it was just like acres of land flattened. That it was in the middle of this big city, and it was also supposedly where they made artillery. The Japanese did, and that's of course what they were looking for. And evidently they hit it, because all I could see was this maybe a telephone pole every once in a while, or a chimney or something, and the rest of it was acres of just flat land. And another interesting thing about that, there were people, Japanese, walking by, and 1 or 2 of them was soldiers again, and he had a good-looking cap on, of some kind of a cap. I forget what the hell it was. Anyway, this guy said to me, he says, Case, he says, they called me Case because KC Coats, that was stenciled on your uniform, everybody was Casey. He says, I want that cap. I want one of those caps. And here we were in a truck, and it was great. They fixed it for a truck bed. About the rack was about 3 feet high, and we traveled along about I don't know, 20 miles an hour, something like that. And then they had that rack, so we wouldn't fall off the truck. Whole bunch of us. And he said, if you'll hold on to me, he says, I can maybe stretch out as we go by that Jap up there. And I said, I'll hold on to you, go ahead. So he got on, he straddled that, you know, that,
Yeah.
what is it, about 3 feet high, that rack. And for some reason, I don't know why, but about the time he was ready to grab that hat, the driver of the truck speeded up.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so this guy, my buddy, he just kind of swiped. He knocked that chap. He's all head over heels. But he grabbed the hat. He got his cap.
Yeah.
I always remember that.
So there's, in my generation, is TV, movie generation knowledge.
Uh-huh.
The Japanese were told that when you came to the islands, you were the devil. We were going to eat them and their babies. They were very scared of the Americans. Was that
No,
evident?
not when I got there.
Not when you were there.
No, what it was, the war was over.
Right.
And we had defeated them
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Right.
Although I think the Japanese soldiers themselves, I don't think they wanted to quit.
No.
But the people, I'm sure, living in these towns were damn glad that the war was over. But and then interesting thing about that, we I forget in this town where we were. What is it again?
Nagasaki?
Nagasaki. We had, what is it the Japanese call their girls in the houses?
Geisha?
What?
Geisha?
Geisha girls.
Okay.
And so this one day, there's about 3 or 4 of us, took a trip over, and we wanted to see the geisha girls. We had seen where the bomb hit, so that was over. So now we wanted to see the girls, wanted to see the geisha. And we were told that this place here was a place to go. And they were nice, good-looking girls. There was, 3 or 4 of us. 3 or 4 of them. And they wanted to give us something to eat or drink. I forget what the hell it was.
Sake?
So, you know,
Rice
like
wine?
that. But we weren't there for that. As you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the deal was, we had to be back. We knew that. Had to be back to this boat to get back out to a ship. Had to be at a certain time. And as I say, there were probably 4 of us or 5 of us. And now these girls up there in this place, whatever they call it, they were treating us with food and drink. And one of the guys said something to let her know that we weren't there. Oh no, we can't do something. Anyway, that was interesting. We were there and we saw it. And they were good-looking girls, without a doubt. So now, by the time we got out of there, we had to run to the beach to catch this boat to get to our ship. And they didn't give a damn, whoever was driving the boat. If you weren't there on time, they took off.
Yeah.
And we knew that.
Yeah.
But we got there just in time. And we had to jump in that boat and to get a ride over to our ship.
Yeah.
We made it.
So you guys learned, you had no idea about the atomic bomb at the time.
No, that's right.
And how was that explained to you, that one massive bomb? Was it even explained, or was it just the war's
yeah,
over?
that's a good question.
Might not.
No, it wasn't. And nobody really knew how
Maybe the magnitude.
bomb, the magnitude of what it could do.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just dropped 2 bombs,
Yeah.
but where we dropped them, we wiped out everything, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that the Japanese, other than Japanese soldiers, were damn glad for that war to end. And,
So how much longer after, that was in August of 45,
yeah,
how much longer did you spend out in the Pacific?
okay, it was, we were probably there, that's another thing. We left Nagasaki and we pulled into Japanese, what's their capital?
Tokyo?
Pulled in there, and we were there maybe a few hours, I suppose. Maybe they filled the ship with oil or gas or what the hell they do to the ship, and then from there we headed on to San Francisco.
The Wichita was probably, I don't know, was not part of the signing. It was not present with the USS Missouri.
Oh, when they did sign it, no, we weren't there at that time.
Okay. Okay.
That's right. That was the Missouri, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Right. So then did you go to San Francisco again?
Yeah. Came back into San Francisco.
Were you discharged then?
Oh, let's see, where was I? It's a good question. I forgot about that.
Well, that's okay.
I got back. I guess I was discharged from there.
Where'd you get that gun?
What?
The gun?
Yeah, so you received,
Oh, I did. I got, well,
you had some weapons you brought home.
I brought home a Japanese rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've still got it. No, I haven't. Phil's got it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Phil's got it.
Yeah, yeah.
That was interesting. That word came over the ship. We were still in that, we had taken that hospital ship in there and we were there. And word came over one day, anybody who wants a Japanese rifle, head back to the fantail. Well, what they had done, they'd scooped up a bunch of rifles, you know, and brought them up there. And they were in a hell of a condition. They were terrible. But it was a Japanese rifle. If you wanted one, they were there. So I got one, and